we talked about. Oh man, hold on. I have the little streamer thing enabled or disabled. Okay. So we're in a 3-week balance, and I suggested that we draw, the FVP for the 3 weeks. And this is your first standard deviation, or if you want to call it the value area low of 3 weeks, 50.41. It was a little bit lower, actually. It was 40.25 a day prior, right? So we shifted a little bit higher, but this is where we are right now. Last time when we explored this area, and I'll just draw this right here, we did not like it that much. We didn't like it here. Obviously, we didn't like it here. So now they're trying to build up against this POC, which is 3-week POC right now. If they can hold above and build up some value here, there's a high chance that they can go here, crack, and then 51.40. So as long as we're holding above this, I would say 5103-ish. Well, let's see. Let's call it 5103 and 3/4. If you're able to hold that, you're somewhat bullish. Once you crack this 51.22, then things can be a little bit more trappy here, right? They're going to be looking.
Shorty, can I ask you a question? I don't mean to interrupt, but like knowing that 5100 is such a psychological level, wouldn't you just kind of anticipate that just in case? So they don't do like a fake, fall down and then come back up?
They're already above it. They're trading at 51.10 right now.
Oh, you're on the daily? Okay. All right, sorry. Yeah. I see.
So as long as we're holding this above now, they're probably targeting this here, which is your value area high of the 3 weeks, right? And then when you turn on the weekly time frame, when you go here, I'm just going to delete some drawings so you guys are not super confused. So if you look at the weekly time frame, what is the weekly telling you? Well, this is your weekly current developing value area high here, and we're not able to really build about it. So first level is here, second level is here. Is there a lot of reward to go long here? No, your reward was long today, right here. In balanced markets, you're looking to buy the bottoms. That's why I emphasized this yesterday so much, and I even mentioned it. When we were started dipping here this morning, I said we're coming up to a level, and I went long there, right? For most of you that are new to here, it's going to be counterintuitive. The way you think and the way you use your EMAs and whatnot, because once you're above EMAs, that means you're above average. You're buying probably above value for the most part. The goal is to buy below the value and sell it at value, top, extreme, or above that value. So now when you're coming up on this weekly here, it doesn't make sense that you guys are initiating too many longs. And tomorrow we got NFP. So if they do something like this and then they lose this 5103, high chance we visit somewhere around here, right? So that would be one scenario that I'm watching for peak above tomorrow and fail, right? So this would be one. You go above, then you lose this, let's say 5103.75. Somehow it seems like it's still here. So, but there's a little range here. I would treat it as such. I would treat it something like this. If they lose this little area, then most likely you're headed down all the way to 50, 57 or so. That would be what I'm watching here. Once they lose that POC, there's not a lot of value for me to short here. Basically sit still and see if there's initiation, meaning if they dip through this level and there's aggressive selling, then kudos to them. We're breaking 3-week balance to the downside. Same thing to the upside, right? So once we're able to crack 5120, there's a chance you're going to go to this HVN, which is sitting at 5122. This just easily could have been a POC on the top. And you see this is almost like a clear double distribution that's building now. Value high is shifting lower, right? Value low is shifting lower. And then, of course, the POC shifting lower as well. So there's not a lot of bullishness in this, but there's not a lot of bearishness in terms of like who's got the upper hand, right? You have a prior week is shifting higher. So overall, you're playing the bracket. This is just a two-sided activity that's somebody go mute, please. This is just a two-sided activity that's taking place right now. They're negotiating the bottom, negotiating the top. So until we crack this, and you do not want to be that, well, you can be, but I don't advise that you're a momentum trader and you take this trade immediately on a breakout, right? NFP can probably bring in some crazy results tomorrow, but I would definitely, want to see the volume confirmation, make sure the values shifting with that we are not holding something that's going to quickly trap you and go down. But these would be the key levels that I'm watching. If at open we're holding this, high chance we're hitting 51.20, and then 51.40, 53 is critical. And I think this level should be, for the most part, in everyone's chart. Is there anyone that doesn't have that chart, that level on their chart? Why is that level important?
It's the start of the singles, right?
Yeah,
Single prints from 415.
Yeah, that's correct. So 4/15, right? The April 15th. So if you guys go here, I'm sorry, yeah, April 15th. So if you go here, for newer folks, you guys will pick this up on Sunday. You see that there's a lot of single prints, and this is called H period right here. There's a lot of single prints, means there's a lot of emotional selling, a lot of other time frame sellers stepped in. Last time when we came here, we kind of rejected that level, right? And then we went down. So now we started absorbing that, right? And it started the base spike and it ended here at 51.27. So if they're able to, let's say, crack 51.03, there's a good chance that, they will probably target this one as the next level to visit. Above that, you have the 51.40, and then ultimately, if they can crack and accept, now just pay attention to what happens here. If they're able to crack this level, 51.54, let's call it, what do you guys see? What happens in terms of price value division? If this is my top distribution of value, this is my bottom. If they're able to crack this, what does it mean?
You're going to go all the way to the extreme.
Yeah, you're going to
A
most likely
change of character?
not change your character. You're shifting value, and most likely you're going to put in a new all-time high. Because they're going to be looking to see where the sellers are, and you have to go sometimes to the extreme to find those sellers. So if they're able to crack this, I'm calling it this zone here. I think it was 51.58 for me. Yeah, 58 was critical. If they're able to crack 58, there's a strong chance that they can go all the way to up to. And crack means, it doesn't mean go here and crack means let's go to 51.80, then come back, and then we look for long and drive it, right? I don't necessarily want to see just a peak above and fail with a bunch of wicks. I want a full candle through it. Hopefully
You'd like
tomorrow.
to see like a little short cover rally probably happen then.
I'm sorry?
I just think you'd like to see like maybe a little short cover rally to help boost it.
Well, short cover rally, it can start it, but I don't want it to go through it because those short cover rallies get killed by icebergs, right? As soon as there's a lot more inventory at that level, they'll get destroyed. You really need buyers to initiate through this resistance right here. You need real buying because the short cover rallies like these that we've had, they were stopped in tracks. And when you look at this, a lot of people, I would say retail is seeing what here?
Cup and
I'm
handle?
talking.
What does this look like to a lot of retail?
Bear flag?
Bear flag.
Yeah, it looks like a little bear flag, right? So what a better way to kill them by just kind of running it higher, and that would be probably the easiest way. But I think tomorrow might be another shakeout. If they want to go higher, they might have another shakeout before a repeat. If I was them, that's exactly what I would execute. I would actually bring it back to that green zone that I drawn on the bottom, bring it back, maybe dip below this poor low, and then go higher. Okay. And then on the daily, there's really not much that indicates. There's a little bit of excess high here at 50.40, which happens to be our first sig. And then on the top, I think it's a poor high. Yeah, definitely a poor high here, sitting right here at 54.75.
Yeah, that's where I was kind of thinking about like really more of it happening. I didn't know if you knew where I was talking about it happening.
Yeah, I mean, it can definitely happen, but I would warn them if a short cover rally is to be fueled, you need to bait more shorts.
Yeah.
Once the
And
shorts
I'm saying, yeah. What I was saying is like I think you wouldn't you want to see that happening at above 51. I mean, yeah, 51, 54.
well, I want them to trap shorts, so the shorts are excited on shorting the lows, short the whole.
Mm-hmm.
Once they get excited, I want the short rally to go, here, and then I'm able to break and then go higher. I don't want short cover rally starting here.
Okay.
Usually short cover rallies start where? Do you guys remember what a dull tape means? Does anyone recall what that means?
I don't remember what that means, but they usually start when a fake out of a breakdown of a major level.
Yeah, so a dull tape means that there's basically no interest to sell. The sellers have no interest to sell below. It's a black hole. There's no inventory to sell. The smart shorts close their positions and they take a loss as they can right here. Let's say I'm short and they're a little bit off on their profits. They close it and then they take their hit, because then as they buy to cover, they're propelling that, at the ass to cover it. They buy and the new buyers come in and then that propels.
So part. Oh, pardon me, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
Part of the short cover rally is not only trapping shorts at the bottom, but getting the smart shorts to flip long to fuel it.
Exactly. Usually
Okay.
the smart shorts, the big shorts, they're like, screw it. We're not able to break this level. And what they do is they close their shorts. And typically on trade floors, they get out of the fucking office, man. They literally go out in the morning and they wander around in New York. And then they're like, okay, well, we're coming up to our interest of selling. So let's say I can't sell you this at 50.55. They close their shorts, they take their hit, and they're like, okay, we'll come back once it hits 51.50. I'm just throwing this stuff out, right? So when they come back, they're like, okay, well, now I can give you some inventory here. And then they get back in and they drive it. Just as people are ready to go in for longs, they come back from their coffee breaks and they place their shorts.
So you would say within this next few days to maybe a week, it's going to be either new all-time high or they're going to dump it. It's going to be one or the other. I kind of feel like it's going to be one or the other.
Well, of course. I mean, the market goes either up or down and consolidate. We've been consolidating now 3 weeks, right? I'm not implying that we can't consolidate this week to close within the 3 weeks. But
Right.
with the market information that's coming in, NFP, I think they're going to make a big deal out of it. And I think Apple had earnings after hours and they pumped. So they're trying to, kind of propagate the market to go higher. But if NFP, let's say, I don't know what's bad news anymore, to be honest. I don't know if bad news is good news or good news is bad news, just because the way they're looking at it from interest rates, it makes it a little bit confusing, right? Usually when you cut interest rates, market collapses. So when you look at this, right, if NFP comes in tomorrow, let's see how they do at this level. I'd love a peak above this level and fail, because that would mean back in balance and you're going back here.
Yeah, you test the break above,
Understood.
fail, test the low again.
That would be the ideal, right?
So today, today I just had a question. Today for me was very clear from the I joined kind of late. I don't know if you mentioned this, but I joined today for me was extremely clear trading, because not only do we have that 88 zone at the top, and then our VPOC at the bottom, but like right below that 88 zone was the PD value area high, and then right above the VPOC was the PD value area low. And so today when we opened above PD value area high, rejected that 80, failed back below PD value area high, which would signal
80%.
most likely a test of the value area low now PD, which also right below that was the VPOC. So it was really clear to me that we shorted that 88, and then once we broke below.
I saw you took the 88. That was good. Yeah. Once you executed that 80%, which was sitting somewhere on ETH, maybe a little bit different. So for the newer people, you guys will find out a little bit more Sunday with the terminology we're using. But he's talking more about, this level. I'm sorry, not this level here. This level here. He's talking about that, we had the 88 on the TPO value area high. He's talking about this value area high, right? When you went above it, right, and then you lost it here, basically he's looking for an execution all the way down to this 55 level. They executed basically the 88% here, right? So I think that's what he's implying. And that's
so yeah, because when I was in, once we broke, I got in on the instant rejected the 88, but once we broke that value area high, is the confirmation now too that this is going to go most likely test that value area low, and then ultimately the VPOC.
That's your 80% rule. I mean, that's the definition of it. And usually, I mean, when you think about what 80% rule states, it has 88% chance, 80% chance that it's going to go to the opposite extreme. So if it fails value area high, there's an 80% chance you're going all the way to value area low. In those situations, you don't need to size up a lot because that's quite a bit of points, right? And you let it play out.
Now, does it matter if the market opens above PD value area high, or we open below it and then push above? Does that really make a difference as long as we look above and fail?
Well, makes a big difference. Does anyone anyone remember what the 4 types of open?
I know it's like extremely bearish to open above and then reject that.
Let me open this.
I just didn't know, like, it's still bearish to open below it, go above and fail, but it's not as bearish as an open above instant fail.
So let's think about this. Do you remember this? Do you remember these?
Yes.
Okay. So there's one setup. This one right here. Isn't this identical to what you just explained?
Yeah.
You open above the PD value area high, and then you're basically, look at the, well, I can't draw it any better, but this is your arrows telling you your target is PD value area low. You open above and you crack it. This is a really good 80% rule because you're, really high odds you're going to hit this.
Yeah, that was honestly probably one of the, this is one of the cleaner, like, this week was a little bit trickier on some of the days, but this is why, like, a day like today is why I have rules to, like, not only if you're going to take an L, like, take a small L, because days like today seemed extremely easy regarding, like, all the stuff, all the structure and the system that we're putting into place. Like, it fell perfectly into the system. It was all very clear. They didn't do any funky market maker, push it up more, fake dump it, push it up, then dump it. It was just a very clean dump it.
It was beautiful. I mean, and they accelerated through all the levels that we had. I was pointing out like 42 to 38. I pointed out that they're going to bounce out. It was 57.75, I believe. Yeah, it was 57.75. So they're going to bounce it there. And I mean, they pretty much did everything. And for me, tomorrow, the scenario that you just explained, why would this 85 be very important? It's the same identical setup that you just talked about.
The same setup we failed at. We're going right back to that VPOC essentially.
Yep. So if you lose 85 and 25, you're turning a little bit bearish, right? Because that would mean you see the value shift, but the range did not shift higher. So we weren't able to explore that. I don't doubt that they won't tonight. But if they lose this 85, you're rejecting any values above the 2 days that you had here. So it was a 2-day balance, and right now you're well above it, right? Inventory wise, it was really net long. So if they're able to lose this tomorrow, there's a high chance probably you test the low of the day, but your first target would be 63. Then I would say somewhere around 55, and then you would held ultimately this 37 area for a test. So that's what I'll be watching, right? You want to see how they react to NFP and then let the dust settle a little bit. But 85 is fairly important tomorrow in terms of weekly. But then if you look at, what we've done so far for the week, is tomorrow Friday? I guess it is.
Yes.
Friday.
Let's just say we open where we're at, where we're currently priced at.
Mm-hmm.
Would have failed. I think it's 103, that level.
Yep, that's a bullish open.
Would an open above 103 into a fail below 103? Would you personally be? Obviously, there's other factors included, like the tape, the flow, all that. But just off of a like structure, would that considered be rejecting the upper? And then we would still want to see what happens at 85, but.
Because that's a fair price, right? The 103 is considered the fairest price for how long now? For 3 weeks.
A long time.
So if you're going above and you're rejecting a fair price above it, then what do you have to do?
Test the low.
Well, you have to go look for buyers.
Buyers.
Right? So most likely it's going to be a rejection, right? And usually on these levels like this, my favorite setups are when you really go away from the value. Let's say right now we haven't really changed the character, in my opinion, on 30 minutes just yet. Right? In order to change this character, you really got to crack this 51.27 where you rejected right here. Once you crack this, then the character change. You're making higher highs, higher lows from here to here, and then this would be cracked, and then you're working on this major supply of 50. if they can do that and break this, that's bullish as it gets. But if they open above like what you're indicating here, if you open above like you are, and then let's say NFP comes out and they dip here, but they reclaim it shortly after, do not short that.
Yeah.
Because this right here can rip it to
Rocket. Yeah.
because that would mean they rejected lower prices, right? They bought it up, right? Meaning opportunity came, it was quick. Because remember, when something's at discount, it doesn't stay there long.
Yeah, they're not interested in trading there. They're buying that right up.
And
if that were to happen.
better example than today, right? And I don't think I could even type fast enough. Like, watch out for this level. I wrote it 42 to 38. It's going to be a rocket. I explained it last night. When it comes to those levels in bracketed market like this, you don't spend a lot of time there. If you're spending a lot of time there, then once it breaks, a nice break, there's a high chance you're basically breaking down, right? You're going to go lower. But if it's doing this and you see how you have equal lows, bottom wicks, this is where the shorts, smart shorts close, and then you get the short cover rally. Right. So now that when you think about psychology of this, the idea is, can we break the high of this short cover rally? If you can't, a little bit of concerning, right? And in terms of daily profile, really not much. I would say it's just a little bit of excess low as a poor high on the top. So for me, 85 below is bearish. Let's see how we open tomorrow, right? If we open above the CPOC that we have here, there's a high chance that they're gonna most likely run it to that 27. I think we have 22 and then 27. And this is pretty much where they rejected last time. And then you have this major HVN here that's sitting here. So I'm not sure, if they will be able to break this unless NFP just comes out. I don't know what comes out. Let's say it's perceived good. I don't know what's good or bad, but if it's perceived good, they're just going to slice through all these levels. You will have 67, 81, 205, and I think, let me cancel this little writing tool. Come on. If you have this, then you would have probably pushing all the way down 52, 51 or so. That would be the next level, which is your 2 weeks POC kind of sitting right here. Okay. All right, well, that's all for me. And I scheduled a class for Sunday, so plan on it about maybe 2 hours, because we'll do the stock scan about 30 to 45 minutes, and then we'll do about an hour and a half class. For newer people, I would strongly suggest that you guys attend the first class, so that way you don't feel like you're in a really totally different language when we were talking and trading, right, and doing the market updates. So I think it would be really beneficial for most of you.
Even just one class will take you from not understanding anything we're saying right now to getting a clear picture.
Changes everything.
Yeah, literally, it's literally just what you just shows you whatever you were doing before this, you weren't doing what you needed to do.
Sometimes it's the opposite.
Well, honestly, this is pretty much like the system we're building right now is similar to the one I was just happened to be doing by myself, but I had just had no idea what I was really doing, and it just kind of worked out to something similar, just not nearly as accurate and a little more confused about level to level.
Well,
Like,
now it makes it easier for you because you're feeding your bias and your, what you're looking for before with a little bit more, I would say, confidence, right? Once you see
Yeah,
the level
like,
of work,
yeah.
confidence boosts, and I think trading.
Like before, like if you look at open, like before, like when we failed off that 88, and then we came down and we stalled just a little bit before dumping all the way to the VPOC. Before I wouldn't understand that failing that 88 and that value area high after opening above it is extremely bearish. I would potentially either one, be too afraid to go short, two, close my short early, or three, trying to long before the real dump happened.
Yep.
And this kind of just lays it all out.
One for most people.
Yeah.
If you don't understand the levels and value and what they're telling you, right, then it's different time frames, and that's what people need to understand. When I look at these charts, I start, intra week, I look at the weeklies. But on Sundays, I start with monthlies. I look at the weeklies. I look at the dailies, and I pay attention to what is happening in terms of price, just like we did here. You had value built at the top. You rejected it, and now you knocked once on the door. Let's see if you knock twice, and if you break it and get back inside, then of course, you don't go from here to here in a matter of a day, but that's your ultimate target, is to reach that, and most likely they will. So I'm glad it's working for most of you. For newer people, we've had some people. We had one person that cashed out. I don't even know how much Bean made.
1.7, I think.
Yeah, he
At
made
least
a
one.
ridiculous amount of money. Just basically, if you look at his charts, it's identical to what we have, and it takes a lot of discipline, right? Some of you might feel, and if you haven't read Trading in the Zone, it might be a good book to read, just from psychology perspective, right? A lot of you will get a hot hand, and then you just think you're so fucking good, and then the market humbles you, and then you do good again, and then the market humbles you until you become in line with expectations and understanding that some days are just not tradable. Some days, it's not like every business makes the same amount of money or more every day. Like a guy that, let's say a tire shop. I mean, maybe someday he'll sell a bunch of tires, maybe someday he won't. I don't think he should go and pop people's tires at the stoplight or stop, at the lights so he can go replace them, right? Some of those things you don't do. You have to wait for these setups. You have to read what the market's telling you. What is the generated information being provided? So that way you can make, I would say, informed decisions on your trading.
Yeah, and really just staying for me personally, keeping a max loss for the day to keep me in the game, so I can continue to have these at bats every day. You're just aiming from what I've taken away from how Shorty's been trading is he kind of just takes his at bats one at a time. He makes sure that he doesn't strike out. And then he's not aiming for these crazy plays every day, but he's just aiming to consistently be in the plays. And then if you're just doing that, a day like today, you'll catch 20, 30 points.
20, 30 points. I could catch that every day, man, without trading. Sign me up. I'll take it for the rest of my life.
If I blew my account at any point this week, I would be so upset with myself because today was an extremely easy 20, 30 points. So there's no point in getting frustrated and over trading and taking not high quality setups, or just losing too much in a day to now you're afraid to take the next trade because you're close to losing your account or whatever the case may be. It's just staying in the game.
Strategy, man, is when you have a good day like you did today, and you have to practice this, is to take a day off the next day.
Yeah.
A lot of people have the opposite. When they have a good day, oh man, tomorrow I'm gonna, especially the people that write, I'm gonna go destroy the market tomorrow. You don't know what you're gonna do to the market, right? Market gives and takes. If your read on the market is wrong, and then you're giving, right? And a lot of people that have that confidence, that gives them that false hope of confidence that they're going to destroy something, usually, I would say, struggle psychologically in trading, right? You don't know what the market's going to bring, right? And your guess is just as good as a meteorologist, right? Guessing if there's rain tomorrow. It looks like it won't be, but God knows, right? We might have some rain tomorrow. So you have to play what's in front of you. It's almost like poker, right? You have two deuces. You can go all in and pray to everybody in the room that the guy next to you doesn't have pocket aces, right? Your chances are much lower, right? That you're going to win that hand. And it's same in, when you're trading here, you have to look at the odds. Is the market with you or against you? I mean, not like, manipulation wise, but I'm talking more about, are you guys on the same side of the trade? And if things match up, whether it's, directional performance, you're looking at value, volume, shift, the width of value, all of those things, when you look at it, does it add up? And if it does, then you're in a, and I provided that checklist under Shorty's Corner, at least what goes through my head when I'm about to take a trade, and check off quickly in my head, did I miss anything? And for most of you guys, I think it would be good to have something like that. The good question always is, why should I not take this trade? If there's any reason that comes quickly to you why you shouldn't, then don't. right? If you're just taking it because it's too high or too low, then that's probably not a good reason to be in a trade. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be trading live with you in the morning.
We
Thanks,
appreciate
Shorty.
it, man.
See you guys.
Good night,
Thank-
Shorty.
Hi, Shorty.
Good night, everybody.
Take care, guys.